Hey, what is up, guys? Tyler here with Secure Team. We have a very shocking new revelation that has got many people questioning just what is going on in space. I know we've talked a lot lately about NASA's sudden rush to upgrade and quickly advance their warning system that has been put in place to shield Earth, or at least warn Earth, from incoming objects, asteroids that could potentially wipe us all out. We have had Obama's executive order talking about, quote, space weather that could also wreck our planet, destroy our electrical grid, and we've talked about all of these WikiLeaks email dumps, which again have talked about the same thing. So there's a lot of people wondering, including myself, what is going on outside of our planet? Is there something we're not being told? NASA just had a meeting at the end of October with FEMA, which is usually never a good sign if you know what FEMA's purpose is. And now we have a 2-star general that has, quote, committed suicide days before he was to take charge of U.S. space and missile defense. And this is according to the Army. So this 2-star general, whose name is John Rossi, Major General John Rossi, who is 55 years old, was found dead recently near Huntsville, Alabama. The death happened just 2 days before Rossi was scheduled to start his new role as the head of U.S. space and missile defense, and it's got a lot of people, even including the family of the general, asking questions, and they don't believe that he committed suicide. And if he did, what was the reason? What scared him so badly that he would take his own life? There was no suicide note that was left. He had just gotten this promotion. He had a beautiful wife, 3 beautiful children, and a granddaughter, all of which he had said nothing to. Again, no suicide note. And what is also interesting is that Rossi is the first Army general to commit suicide on active duty since record keeping began in the year 2000. Now, of course, we have military suicides, but most of them typically, affect lower-ranking members of the military. So he was just 2 days from being promoted to a 3-star rank. Apparently, the Army will not reveal how he killed himself. They say that he killed himself, but, they will not tell us, which is strange because they usually tell you. If you remember, we recently did a video about some of the recent suspicious deaths of these UFO researchers. One of them who went by the name of Max Spears. And then we had another UFO researcher in India who also had a suspicious death. They ruled it a suicide, but they would not give any details regarding it. It's just very suspicious. There's even a website called militarycorruption.com who has even looked into this and said that, it does not compute. He was, for all intensive purposes, a happy man. He was in good health. Finances were in order. There is even talk about his death being related to that of another senior officer by the name of Cole Richard Shepard, who is also said to have, quote, committed suicide. So this was a very healthy and sane man. And again, of course people commit suicide, and everybody has their reasons, but in the military it usually tends to be younger people, suffering from PTSD, the horrors of war, and not generals who are almost, in their 60s, are days away from, becoming a 3-star general, getting a promotion, have a beautiful family. And according to other military members, this story has, quote, more holes than Swiss cheese. So, there's a lot of questions. One of those being why he was being promoted to the U.S. Space and Missile Defense Command. Does this tie in with NASA's sudden interest and FEMA's sudden interest and President Obama's sudden interest in the defense of Earth in space? And by the way, he didn't even supposedly do this at home. He was at a military base when he was found dead. So, he didn't just go to some quiet spot, in his car. He was found dead at the Redstone Arsenal military base, which certainly opens the possibility of all kinds of underhanded things that could have taken place. But, our hearts go out to this man and his family. We've been witnessing a lot of deaths lately, both in this field and with people connected to, in one way or another, the defense of this planet. You can look this up for yourself. I mean, it's happening. So, let me know what you guys think. Sad day, but, it doesn't surprise me. The government has been built on cover-ups and corruption. So we will continue to follow this and update it, just as we did with Max Spears and other researchers that have lost their lives under suspicious circumstances. Now, in other news, a new leaked document that has just hit the web, and I will put the link to this down in the video description, has now shown that the, quote, impossible EM drive that NASA was working on does in fact work. Now, if you don't know, the M drive, or EM drive, made headlines over the past year because it would have given us the possibility of having a fuel-free propulsion system that would be able to get us to the planet Mars in just 70 days. But there was one huge problem, according to the current laws of physics, which said that it shouldn't work. No way, no how. Specifically because it defies Newton's third law, which states that everything must have an equal and opposite reaction. So according to Newton and our current understanding of the world around us, for a system to produce propulsion, it has to push something out the other way. But the EM drive works without any fuel or propellants at all. Instead, it works by bouncing microwave photons back and forth inside a cone-shaped closed metal cavity. The motion causes the pointy end of the M drive to generate thrust and propel the drive in the opposite direction. Now, there has been a lot of controversy surrounding the M drive, with many people attempting to debunk it. Last year, NASA's Eagle Works laboratory got involved to try to independently verify or debunk the M drive once and for all. And the new paper on the tests that occurred is what has been leaked. You're seeing that paper here, showing that not only does the drive work, but it also generates some crazy thrust power, generating a force of 1.2 millinewtons per kilowatt in a vacuum. Now, in comparison, we have another very powerful engine called the Hall thruster, which generates a force of 60 millinewtons per kilowatt, compared to the 1.2 millinewtons of the M drive. However, the Hall thruster uses fuel and requires a spacecraft to carry heavy propellants that would cause a lot more weight that would in turn offset the higher thrust. So once they found out that it worked, they were looking for any sign that the thrust could be the result of another anomaly in the system, but that doesn't appear to be the case, as none was identified. So yeah, the results have yet to be published, but we do have this paper which gives us evidence that the drive is real and that it does work, and this is a big thing for space travel, meaning we will need no more propellants. We will be able to reach other places in the solar system faster, quicker, and without polluting space more than we already have. So very exciting times, and we are living in the most exciting times that you could live in. We're right on the precipice of truly being able to reach the stars. Then again, on the other hand, many people believe, including myself, that we've already had the technology to reach the stars, so maybe we've already had the M drive for years now, and we're just now being drip-fed this technology that NASA has had in its possession for years. So you can check out this leaked document in the video description. Now, before we end today's video, I gotta show you guys something pretty funny. As you all know, especially if you're in the United States, tomorrow is Election Day. Now, while I have always taken a neutral stance here on the channel, I do believe that it is imperative that you all get out to vote. Doesn't matter who you're voting for, but it is your duty. And it's the only time of the year when your vote counts just as much as the billionaire down the block or the person without a job suffering through hard times. And I'm going to be out voting, and I hope you all are too. And while we're on the subject of voting here, a Chinese monkey, who they're calling the King of Prophets, has tapped Donald Trump as the winner of the U.S. presidential race. So apparently, Paul the Octopus, who, if you remember, was the psychic sea creature who correctly predicted the results of several World Cup football matches in 2010, has a new rival. Its name is Gita, and it's a Chinese monkey who has also proven to be successful in psychically predicting the results of football matches and has now taken the plunge into the presidential punditry. So according to these new Chinese news outlets, Gita has made his selection. You're seeing the images here of that for the United States presidential election where he has chose Donald Trump. So horrible news for Hillary Clinton supporters. Now, the monkey, Gita, has been declared the king of profits by workers at the Xianhu Ecological Tourism Park where he lives. They say that the monkey correctly predicted that Portugal would win in the European Football Championship earlier this year. Apparently, the monkey made his selection after being presented with the national flags of Portugal and their opponents. After some thought, the monkey walked over to the Portuguese flag and cheerfully sat down and ate a banana. So now they wanted to see if he could pick the next president of the United States. They set up these two cardboard cutouts here, and sure enough, after what the report stated, as Gita appeared to give the matter a period of brief and deliberate thought, before finally waddling over to Donald Trump and giving the cardboard cutout a very enthusiastic kiss on the lips. So, there you have it. Whether the monkey turns out to be true or not, I think we can all agree that it's just fun to watch monkeys get into all sorts of shenanigans, and they're just cute little creatures. So, do like the monkey did, get out and vote, and be sure to stick around. I've got a lot more coming. Share this video, subscribe, and I'll see you guys back very, very soon. Stay safe, guys.